All right. Uh, Hello, seniors. Hope you're enjoying the long weekend. Lots of time to get done all those first week assignments done. Get ready for school. This is going to be our first nightly video again to remind you about the flipped classroom concept instead of a traditional classroom where you come into class and the teacher teaches you a lesson and then you go home at night and practice it on your own. Instead, you're going to have these nightly videos where I teach you a skill, model something that we're going to be then working on the next day. Benefit of that is that it's a lesson that you can pause, rewind, rewatch, kind of have at your own pace. And then you can come into the classroom and work with me and work with other students on really getting that skill or concept down so that you have mastery over it. All right. So that's the idea of the flipped classroom. This is the first video. Should give you a general idea about how it's going to go. We're going to start off each video with some housekeeping. That's going to be like class level concerns, nitty gritty details we got to get out of the way before we can get to the lesson. First housekeeping item is if you took the survey, first of all, thank you. Responses are fantastic. Give me a lot of insight and information into who you are, where you're coming from. That's going to help me design lessons and content and curriculum that meet you at where you are and are kind of informed by who you are. Unfortunately, only 21 out of 58 responses as of this afternoon are in. That means that more than half of you are going to start off the year on a horrible foot, getting zeros for the very first assignment that we had in this class, and also probably the easiest assignment we have in this class. It is a survey about you. You already have all the answers. It takes about 30 minutes to do. So if you have not taken the survey, I will be reducing your grade a little bit because it is a late grade, but you can still have a chance before Wednesday. Go take the survey. It's on Google Classroom. Please get that in before Wednesday. You do not want your first assignment to be down in the grade books as a zero. That is starting off on the wrong foot. If you were one of the people that did take the survey, again, thank you. And I would encourage you to keep in mind that, as Clemente says, you are your brother's keeper. Reach out to whoever might not have taken the survey. Remind people that they need to take the survey. Make sure that you're doing what you can to make sure that it's not just you crossing that stage in June. It's everybody crossing that stage in June, okay? But 21 out of 58 is not good enough. I am teaching 100% of you this class. I want 100% of you to graduate strong this year. So if you know somebody who might need a reminder to take the survey, reach out to them, give them a text. Please, let's all get this done. All right. So the first unit we're going to do for fall marking period 1, this is going to be a unit that introduces you to and kind of equips you with a series of reading and writing tools focused on the power of details. All right. Like I said, we're going to be doing not 12th grade reading and writing skills. These are going to be college level reading and writing skills. You'll be immediately able to apply next year when you walk into that first classroom. Another reminder, we're going to be following a spaced learning model. That means that instead of studying the same thing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then moving on, we're going to space out time in between certain kinds of lessons, because what educational research shows is that when you study something, then you put it aside, do something else, study something else, and then return to it after a given period of time, you have a more powerful learning experience than when you try and study it back to back to back to back. So instead of doing the same thing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll have certain days of the week with different focuses. Monday and Wednesday is going to be a reading focus. Tuesdays and Thursdays is going to be a writing focus. Fridays, we're going to be looking at language this marking period. We'll be working on speaking and listening skills. Guest speakers will be coming in. We'll try and organize some field trips. So Fridays are kind of that wild card where things that are not specifically just reading and writing also get fit into the curriculum. Like I said, so essential question that we're going to have for this unit, it's going to apply both to the reading focus and the writing focus and the language focus, is the question, what makes details powerful? Because what I'm going to show you are a series of processes, moves, procedures, skills that use the power that lies in details to make you a more powerful reader, a more powerful writer. So again, essential question is, what is it that makes details powerful? Some concepts, specific reading concepts that you will have by the end of this marking period. You will understand the process of close reading, noticing, questioning, and analyzing specific details and patterns in order to develop a more powerful understanding of a text's meaning. So close reading is what we're going to be introducing in this video. Close reading is going to be the main reading skill that you are going to have by the end of this unit, be equipped with. And it's going to be a skill that we're going to be using all year. So this is going to build that up and make sure you have it strong starting out. In order to do that, we're going to also apply the close reading process to different genres. So today we're going to apply it to photography, multimedia, political documents, narrative essays, short stories, popular nonfiction, philosophy, and poetry. So close reading is a reading procedure that you can use on any kind of genre you want that will use the power of details to help you build a more powerful understanding of even the most complex text that could be thrown at you. All right? And I will have demonstrated that. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a little exercise that will demonstrate just how powerful the process of close reading can be. So that's what you will understand. You'll understand those concepts. The specific skills you will have by the end of this marking period are you'll be able to notice and collect textual details, patterns as you read. You'll have a series of questions, specific questions you can ask in order to focus on the most significant details and patterns in a text. You'll be able to analyze how details and patterns create a larger meaning in a text. And you'll be able to share your analysis through text-based writing and discussion. All right. So in general, close reading process is this. And it might not sound like that much at first, but once you actually put it to use, put it into action, you'll see why it is a powerful process for reading. It starts with observing details and patterns and facts in what you're reading. So close reading is first and foremost slow reading. There's fast reading, which is you're trying to read to get the general gist of a text, get the big idea, to get a general understanding. Close reading is not that. Close reading is slowly reading a text in order to find and collect as many important details and patterns that you can. Then you move on to questioning those details and patterns and thinking about what they might mean, what they might reveal about the text. Then you move to analyzing those details, patterns, in order to form a larger interpretation, understanding about what the text is doing. All right, so observation, questioning, analyzing are the three moves that make up close reading. What I'm going to do next is show you two analogies that very much kind of follow the same steps as close reading and are maybe helpful ways to think about what close reading is. The first is something you're probably familiar with. You've ever taken a lab course, you've followed it. It's the scientific method. So think about when you're doing a lab course, when you have an experiment, you start off with observations you're making about the world, right? Data that you're collecting. Based on that data or those observations, you form a hypothesis. You ask questions that helps you form a hypothesis. You then go back to those details, patterns without hypothesis, see if it checks out. Then based on that work, you come away with a kind of finding, lab results, some kind of thing that you can then share with people where you have a kind of larger understanding about what you did based on that move from observing details, asking questions about details, then analyzing those details to find a larger meaning. Another analogy that I think is really interesting is I'm very into detective novels. I like detective shows. This is based on a book called David Simon. He's the guy who wrote The Wire. He spent a year doing investigative journalism, where he spent a year with the Baltimore Homicide Detectives Department and kind of followed them around, did their job. And this is a passage that I want to share with you because it describes both what a detective does when they first arrive at a crime scene and are first looking at a possible murder victim. But it also, like the scientific method, it shows you the same process as close reading. You're going to see what I mean in a bit. From Homicide, A Year on the Killing Streets by David Simon. So you look at the body. You look at that body as if it were some abstract work of art. Stare at it from every conceivable point of view in search of deeper meanings and textures. Why, you ask yourself, is this body here? What did the artist leave out? What did he put in? What was the artist thinking of? What the hell is wrong with this picture? You look for reasons. Overdose, heart attack, gunshot wound, cutting. Are those defense wounds on the left hand? Jewelry, wallet, pockets turned inside out, rigor mortis, lividity. Why is there a blood trail with droplets spattering in every direction away from the body? You walk around the edges of the scene looking for spent bullets, casings, blood droplets. You get a uniform to canvass the houses or businesses nearby. Or, if you want it done right, you go door to door yourself, asking the questions that the uniforms might never think to ask. So why am I reading this passage? Again, I think it has a lot to do with close reading. He starts off by directly saying that when a detective looks at a body, it's almost like he follows the same series of questions and steps that somebody does when they're looking at an abstract work of art. He says, what is the deeper meaning behind the details that I see here? What did the artist leave in? What are they out? What is going on with this picture? Then he shows that even though you might think about like the Sherlock Holmes detective who just shows up on the scene, then instantly, because he's brilliant, just figures out everything going on. Aha, I know who did it. I know what happened here. No, what detectives do is they start with the details. They look at all the details, collect all the details they can see about the scene. They ask a series of questions, guided questions that help them focus on what details are the most significant, right? So what detectives are good at, what scientists are good at, what close readers are good at is that basic step. You make observations, collect as many details as you can. You ask questions about those details and patterns that help you focus on what is important. And then from that questioning, you analyze, interpret those details, right? So the detective goes from something that they see, the evidence that they see at the scene of the crime, to something they can't see. Who did it? What happened? What went down? All right, and that's exactly what you do as a close reader. You look at what is on the page in order to form your own analysis of what is not on the page. All right, so that moves us on to homework tonight. In order to introduce you to the close reading process, we're going to try it out on something that is not textual. We're going to try it out on photography. So what I'm going to do, to do this, we're going to use this website on the New York Times runs called What's Going On in This Picture. This is a weekly feature where the New York Times takes a picture from one of the stories that they ran, takes away the caption, takes away the title, takes away the story, and challenges you to, just by analyzing the picture alone, figure out what you think is going on. So we're going to follow the same steps of close reading with these pictures. We're going to start by collecting details, then we're going to question those details, then you're going to form an educated guess about what you think is going on in the picture. All right, and you're going to see that at first, with every picture, you'll have no idea what's going on, or you'll have just a vague idea, right? If you follow these steps, you'll probably come up with a guess that will probably be much more on the point, on target than your original thinking when you looked at the picture. All right, so I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you the steps that I want you to do for homework with selected. Okay, so if you go to Google Classroom, you will open up this document here. It's called What's Going On with This Picture Assignment. The first thing it's going to ask you is to take a look at your picture and just write down what's your first impression of what's going on with this picture. So let me blow this picture up. All right, what's my first impression going on with the picture? This is like when you read something quickly just to get the general gist. All right, first impression, what's going on in this picture? I see a bunch of people are carrying weapons. All right, that's the first thing I see when I look at that picture. A bunch of people are carrying weapons. All right, now I'm going to go back through and I want you to find at least 3 specific details that you notice when you look at this picture more closely. All right, so this is where close reading starts. All right, what do I notice about this picture when I look at it more closely? I see that everybody in this picture seems to be pretty young, seems to be a teenager. All right, and then when I'm kind of following that detail, I look at like what they're wearing, and it looks like they're wearing something like school uniforms. If I zoom in real quick, yeah, they're definitely wearing school uniforms. So first detail I notice is that these are students wearing school uniforms. All right. All right, what else can I notice about this picture? Let's go to those weapons. What do I notice about those weapons? Well, if I zoom in right here, looking at those weapons, I notice they are made out of wood. They don't seem to be kind of real weapons. Like that's a very blunt edge, so I guess they're not real weapons. My guess is that they're ceremonial weapons, right? Being part in some kind of ritual or performance. They also look to me like they're like a indigenous, Native American, First Nations people kind of weapon. So I'm going to write that down. Details I noticed about the weapons are they are ceremonial, meaning that they don't seem to be like real weapons. And I'm going to guess that they're like a First Nations, Native American type of weapons. All right. What's the third thing I can notice? So like when I first looked at this picture, like it seemed like they were like a big angry crowd, all carrying weapons, right? But now that I look at their faces, like kind of look at these details, their faces like seem to be angry, but they also seem to be like very exaggerated. Like this dude has his tongue out, this guy has his tongue out, this girl's like has her eyes open wide. So what I noticed like about this detail is like they're not actually angry. They seem to be performing something with their facial expressions, right? Their tongues are out, their eyes are wide open, and it seems like it's kind of part of a performance. All right, so now let's back away. I got those details. Now, what further questions do I have, right? Well, I feel like one question I have is where are they? Where are they? Where are they from? Like, where is this picture taking place, right? Now, again, using those details I have, okay, I could super cheat and just go read. What does this say? Kura Kapana, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can't read what that says. So, okay, that's not going to help me out. All right, here's my best guess, right? I look at the ethnicity of some of these students, and it seems to me like if I was to guess what their ethnicity was, it seems like there might be South Pacific, Pacific Islander. That's actually confirmed when I look at these weapons. I see the turquoise color, which I have some background knowledge that like turquoise color is definitely a color featured in like South Pacific cultures, right? So where are they from? I'm going to guess South Pacific. What's another question I would have? What are they doing, right? What are they doing? Based on the things I observed, I think that they're performing some kind of ceremony. And a third question might be, who are they? And again, like putting it all together, I think they're like South Pacific students performing some kind of like ritual ceremony performance. All right. So that when you use those details and use those questions to kind of form that final hypothesis, idea about what you think is going on, write it down in that box below. So again, my best guess about what is going on in this picture is a group of South Pacific students are performing a ritual ceremony, a ritual that celebrates something from First Nations or from I'll just say their culture's history. Yeah. All right, that's my best guess. Group of South Pacific students performing a ritual that celebrates something from their culture's history. Now what's fun is that you go back to the NYT article, all right, and you scroll down and you can see how close your guess came to the original. So like, let's see how I did. All right, what was the original title of this article? It was Sailing Maori Journey, New Zealanders Rekindle Indigenous Pride. Ooh, looks good. Original captions article was the Haka Pauriri, a chant or dance of welcome. Then to just like read a little bit of the article, centuries before the Dutch explorer Abel Tasman and Britain Captain James Cook arrived in what became New Zealand, there was Kupe, a 10th century navigator from Tahiti. The first Polynesian to reach the then uninhabited island, Kupe and his wife, Kora Materney, are said by Maori to have given New Zealand its Maori moniker, Aotearoa, or Land of the Long White Cloud. A long time later, this past February, a group of sailors recreated Kupe's journey, steering the double-hulled canoes known as Wakahura in New Zealand's indigenous Maori language. The Waka, whose crews included a group of teenagers from Maori language schools, were billed as the main attraction on the opening night of the New Zealand Festival, a 3-week art and culture event that began last month and runs through March 18th. Nailed it. I got it, right? Broad strokes. I didn't get everything, but I said South Pacific, New Zealand South Pacific. Said they were students. They're definitely students. Are they performing a ritual to celebrate something for their culture history? Yes, they are. All right. So you see, this kind of shows this is like how the process of close reading. You go from something you don't understand that has like too much information, that's very complex, and based on the details you have and you observe, based on the questions you ask about those details, you can form a strong understanding of what is actually going on. So for homework tonight, you're going to go to Google Classroom, open up this form. You can do it on your computer. You can do it on pen and paper, as long as you answer those questions and follow those steps. What I want you to do to practice, take the first picture that's right here on the New York Times page when you click on that link. Take this picture right here, and what I want you to do is follow those steps. Start by observing details, ask questions, then make your best educated guess based on that close reading, what you think is going on in that picture. All right, so for just reminders, this homework is due at the beginning of class on 9/12 when we come back on Wednesday. Make sure you come in with that in hand, ready to go. We have a class hotline, so pause the video right now, write it down. The class hotline number is 1-413-308-2876. This is a hotline that you can call if you have questions, things like that. But it's also a hotline that I'm going to assign you to call at random, so that to kind of share what you got for homework each night. So when I say, if I'm going to pick random students at the end of each of these videos, you have to watch the end of the video to find out if you were one of those random students. And what you're going to do is, once you've done the homework for tonight, you're going to call in the class hotline. You're going to leave a voice message. And in the voice message, you're going to tell us what you got for the homework, right? Then the next day in class, we could start off by featuring the work that you did. So we're starting right off the bat looking at like student work, your work, all right? So again, class hotline number, some of you are going to call in and share what you got for homework. Leave a voicemail where you tell us what you saw going on in that picture. Random students assigned today, Nasim Awari, Tracy Butler, Kendrick Gomez, Tyrone Blanco, Malachi Porter, and Makai Svensson. So if that was you, if your name was on that list, what I want you to do is do your homework tonight. Call that number, put it in your phone, 1-413-308-2876. Leave a voice message where you share what kind of details, questions, and guesses that you had about what was going on in that picture. All right? So if your name was on there, I specifically am expecting you to call in, leave a voicemail message so we can start class by looking at what you found to start our discussion on Wednesday. All right, seniors, that's it. Please also make sure, again, if you have not done the student survey, you have till Wednesday to do it. I will be dropping the grade just a little bit, but you still have a chance to get credit for that assignment if you get it in by Wednesday. So if you haven't done the survey, do it. If you have done the survey, go reach out. Make sure somebody else is also on track. All right, I will see you Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your break. Okay, we're out.